Hello, I am back for another question and answer. I asked you on Instagram if you had any questions or things that you were wondering about that you wanted to hear a little bit more about, and I got some great questions, so let's get to it. Question number 1, should I eat the same thing every day? Well, here's a complicated answer to your question, yes and no. A lot of people like to have variety in their day-to-day eating. Otherwise, they feel bored and they don't want to continue with whatever plan they're on. So yes, incorporate some variety. However, if your goal is weight loss or fat loss, you're going to need to have some control over the calories that you're eating and how much of what you're eating in terms of your fat, your protein, and your carbs, your macronutrients. So if you're going drastically different day to day, let's say today you're having an omelet with cheese and vegetables or whatever, and tomorrow you're having a bagel and I don't know what else. It's kind of hard to grasp what that's going to be without having to log it ahead of time and know that you're going to hit your numbers for the entire day. What I might suggest instead is having a common theme throughout your week and altering it slightly so that you feel like you're getting some variety. For example, if you fill out your food journal and you know that these are the numbers that you need to hit throughout your day, and your breakfast looks like 2 eggs and half a cup of oats and some cinnamon on the oats or something like that, that would be a good place to start. So tomorrow, then still take that same framework, but alter it slightly so you feel like you're getting some variety. So maybe 2 eggs instead of the oats, maybe you have some sort of toast and jelly on it. And that gives you a little bit of variety, but you still know that that's around about the same calories, carbs, protein, fat as it would be to have as the meal you had today. So having some consistency day to day is going to help you stay on track a little bit easier and not have to obsess about, whether or not you're meeting your numbers day to day and how to work with that. So next question. Should I weigh myself or not? I keep hearing conflicting thoughts on that. I would say yes. If your goal is to lose weight or lose fat, if your goal is to gain weight, well, not gain fat. Most people don't want to gain fat. Or to maintain, you're gonna kind of need to know what your scale weight is. Now, that doesn't mean that you should use the scale as your only source of tracking progress. I have my clients use multiple sources of tracking progress. Scale weight, body circumference measurements, using a measuring tape around the areas. I usually measure the fattest areas, which is where people are usually looking to lose or to change. So that would be around the waist, around the hips, around the widest part of the leg, areas like that. Using clothing as a way to measure your progress is another great way to do that. Now, be careful though, if you're within the window of maybe 10 to 15 pounds of your goal weight or where your body should really be at, if you start a resistance training program and you're using, let's say, jeans as your goal, you have a pair of skinny jeans, and you start trying on those skinny jeans and you're doing lots of squats, they're gonna get tighter. And it's not because you're not making progress, it's just because you're gaining muscle in your legs and your glutes, and your leg shape and your glute shape is changing. So if you have 50 pounds to lose, however, they're gonna start fitting differently. They're gonna start getting looser, and that's a good goal. So I would base the clothing measurements based on where you're currently at, where you have to go realistically, and figure that out from there. Question 3. What do you think about Weight Watchers and that so many foods are free? So I heard about this new Weight Watchers program. I'm not too familiar with the details of it, but I will say on the topic of diets, fad diets or whatever kind of diets, is that if you do a diet exactly the way that it's written, it will work for you. That's not to say, however, that every diet is good for you or your lifestyle long term. For example, I have PCOS, so eating sort of high carb diets is terrible. Will I lose weight if I follow the calorie restriction? Yes. Will I feel like crap while I'm doing it? Yes. So for me, high carb diets are not the way to go. If you're more active, you don't have any sort of metabolic issues, you might find that eating high carbs is wonderful, you feel great, you look great. That's awesome. If that works for your lifestyle, do that. But it's important to try a few different things, see how you feel, and make sure that you're doing them exactly as written or exactly as planned, so that you know whether or not the results are based on how much effort you're putting into it or whether or not it's good for your lifestyle. Now, in terms of the whole Weight Watchers thing with all the free foods and stuff like that, I would assume that most of the people that this is working for are people that were not eating that great before they started the program. So when you're eating high calorie, low volume foods, which are usually what we consider junk food, it's going to be a lot different than eating low calorie, high volume foods, your vegetables and fruits and stuff like that, which I think are most of what the free foods are the healthier foods on Weight Watchers. Again, I'm not sure, I don't know the specifics, but if you're converting from eating this way to this way, you're definitely going to see a difference because you're filling up faster on lower calorie, high volume foods. Whether or not that's going to work long term, I'm not really sure. I don't really know how that structure would hold up over the duration, because you do have to be in a calorie deficit in order to keep losing weight if that's what your goal is. So thank you for the questions. Keep the questions coming. Send me an email on my website, ashleybrodeur.com, or check me out on Instagram, Ashley Brodeur Fitness, and I hope to talk to you soon.